think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, and we're ready to take a peek in the box tonight on episode 47 of Way of Life Live. How's it going over there? I'm gonna call you Death Mungus tonight.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing a lot better than I was last week. I'll say that much. How are you?
God, you sound like a 30-plus year chain smoker.
I like the war vet better.
It was probably a 30-plus year chain smoker. Fucking smoking unfiltered Luckies for 40 years.
Oh, God, probably, yeah. We canceled the episode last week because on New Year's Eve, I got, slammed with a flu or virus of some sort. And as you can tell, the remnants of it are still kind of here. A little bit of congestion, but otherwise I'm feeling 80-90% better than I did last week.
Wow. Sick on New Year's Eve again. That seems to be a bad holiday for you. You remember the one New Year's Eve where we had the hotel party and you had to leave early because you were just felt like you were dying?
Yes, which is really weird too, because the initial leaving of the party was because of mostly because I drank way too much. And I went to my other buddy's house. He picked me up. I went over to his house and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm feeling better. We're all good. I ate something. And then I got slammed with being actually sick. So it was a really weird combination that year.
Yeah, no, that entire party was fucking weird. But let's not go there. Yeah, let's not get into that one. So yeah, we are back from our nice 2-week break. That was a good break. Got lots of shit done.
Aside from being deathly ill, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. We haven't been here since before Christmas. So yeah. Hope everybody had good holidays. Mine were okay. Nothing to write home about, but I'm glad they're finally fucking over. And now I get to wait a whole year before I got to deal with this nonsense again.
Mine weren't too bad. I did a lot of we didn't have everything at my house. Our house is usually the central hub for everything, and this year it was a couple people came over, and then we had to go places. So. It wasn't too bad, but it's a nice change of pace for me.
Yeah, thankfully, my family is all within 20 minutes, so even when I have to go to someone's for a holiday, it's not a big fucking deal. They're pretty much right down the road from me.
Yeah, same here. Not too far.
But, yeah, so they're done. I hope everybody got some good presents, I guess. I honestly can't even remember what I got, so not that I honestly care. And I know I got some gift cards, and I ended up using them and bought, not even kidding, $250 worth of poster frames.
Sometimes you got them, man. They just pile up, and you just need frames. I mean, for art collectors like you and I, that's the bane of our existence.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I can't stand those fucking cheapy Kmart poster frames anymore. You know the ones I'm talking about with the fucking flimsy ass cardboard for the backing, and then you have the 4 plastic borders that you can't fucking get in right, and then you end up damaging the sides and the corners of your fucking print. I have a couple of those left, and they will end up being replaced by my new obsession when it comes to poster frames. And this is another company I'm going to work to getting a fucking sponsorship for, because I probably bought $500 worth of these guys. They're called Snapeco. Snapeco poster frames. And they're the most badass poster frames ever. They're one-piece frames and they come with two different kinds of plastic covering. They have a clear one and like this, like really cool, like wavy UV protection one. And the way you load the poster in is that each side, all four sides, they actually flip up, and then they have this like they're on like a flip locking mechanism. So that's how the poster stays in place. You flip them up, you put the poster and the plastic down, and then you close it back down. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, you gotta show me those. I don't think I've seen them, or I may have seen them on your wall, but I haven't looked at how they work. But
oh my god, they're fucking. They're great, man. They're top quality. They're heavy duty. So you actually got to put like for the heavier ones, for like the 24 by 36s, man, you got to put like an anchor in your wall. But it's so worth it. They're beautiful.
I usually go with the I avoid the first ones you described altogether. Those are piles of garbage. I usually go with the they're not too expensive, but like about $20, like Walmart special. They got some decent sized frames. Well, I mean, just all the standard size, but decent quality. And you take the backing off, you set the poster in the frame. Only downside is the plastic covering. There's no UV protection. So some of your posters, like in fact, I gotta probably replace the frame that I have my Guardians poster in, because that one's white and I don't want it to discolor. So, but I usually go with those Walmart ones. They're pretty decent. $20-25. But the problem is like I said before, the posters, we get the posters and prints a lot faster than we do frames, and then we tend to have to just kind of blow $200 at a clip to frame everything, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous sometimes, but I got my 5 new gray matter art pieces framed, and I got 4 of them hung. I'm actually just trying to figure out where I'm putting my last one. I don't know where to put Loki. Not sure where Loki's gonna go, but I'll find a spot for him. But I'm just like, it's so cool. I have that really gorgeous new Captain America gray matter art print that I was dying, like I was slobbering over, and I got that in one of the mystery tubes, and I have that one framed and mounted right behind my computer screen. So it's what I look at.
That's amazing. After the show, I have to send you a nice new set of prints that I came across today that you're probably going to drool over if you haven't seen them.
Ooh, wow. So
your wallet might hurt after the show, but as far as Christmas, I got some decent stuff. Some stuff like as though I was a kid. I got some toys, which is awesome. Some clothes, the much needed clothes, and various things like that. Like all the stuff that you get as an adult. But I'd say the coolest thing that I got, which you're not hearing right now, is I've got an entirely new podcast setup. I have a professional studio mic, the studio arm, the pretty much everything that you need for having a nice little setup here at your computer. So being that I've been sick the last week, I haven't really got around to playing it with it. I was going to today, but today was just a shit show. And I ended up falling asleep before the show. It's like very irresponsible return to podcasting today. But in any case, we're back with my old mic. But hopefully next week, I should be sounding a little bit better, both with the sickness out of me and with this old mic, sitting on my desk doing nothing.
Very cool. Well, speaking of podcasts, I finished actually probably one of my faster episodes, to be honest. I finished editing episode 6 of Metal Beer Horror. So that one is in the can, ready to get posted at some point. We haven't quite decided when we're going to drop it, but we're going to drop it soon because it is holiday and Christmas themed, and we don't want to hold on to it for, a year.
Oh man, we can't give it the episode 4 treatment.
And technically in 5. I mean, 5 we held on for a while.
True. Well, that's because 4 was like holding it up.
Let's see. And we are planning to record more this weekend, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, we set the date from the last recording, and I intend to keep it. Like I said, I've been feeling crappy last week, but I'm definitely an improvement. And as far as the other guys go, you never know with LR. So we'll make sure that he's there, and I'm sure Tom is ready. So I believe someday we're getting together and doing a few more episodes, or a couple more episodes.
Yeah, that's the idea. So, hopefully that happens.
Isn't it a little, like, didn't it throw you off a little bit because we're used to waiting like 6 months between recordings? So we're just like, wait, we're recording this week, and yeah, we're not ready. We don't have enough time.
Yeah, it's definitely a little jarring. We're not used to that, but hey, listen, if we can knock out 1 or 2 episodes on Sunday, that'll be great. I again, as I told you before, I'll just have to fucking edit them really fast before I go away. Yes, I will be gone starting January 23rd for 2 weeks. I will be venturing back to Nam. Going back to Nam, man.
Yeah, it's been a while since my tour in Nam.
Sounds like it. So yeah, I'll be in Nam for 2 weeks. But I do plan on making the most of that trip. I plan on getting a lot of cool travel footage, food footage. And I also plan on picking up a lot of cool goodies. We're going to have a lot of suitcases and a lot of room because we're bringing a ton of shit to give to my wife's family. So we're going to have a lot of room to bring stuff back. So I already have plans to load up on beer again because the last time I went, I brought back probably about 10 different kinds of Asian beers that you can't get in the States. And I invited, the MBH guys over and we did a nice taste testing. It was a lot of fun. Well, I'm going to do that again. This time, we're going to record it. And it's going to be a special mini-sode. So that's something cool to look forward to. I also plan on going crazy with posters again. And probably, I think I'm going to bring back a lot of funky, like, Asian snacks that you don't see here. And I'm going to put together, like, a little foreign boxo mystery for a future giveaway on my channel. With the posters and the crazy snacks. Because they had some weird stuff over there and some funky flavors and a lot of fun stuff that you'll never see in the States, so...
Yeah, that's gonna be impressive. I'm looking forward just to like go through the stuff that you have. You know what I mean? The beer testing alone was a lot of fun. So to see a lot of the differences of, the snacks and I don't know, like last time you were there when I was basically staying up half the night, it was great seeing all these different things. The photos you'd send me, the videos and everything. It was really cool to kind of like experience the culture via you, so seeing what you're going to be doing for a giveaway, it's equally an equally intriguing thing. So definitely something cool. I'm gonna have to like stay up one of these nights and maybe have you put Discord on your phone. Maybe we could do like a late night episode or something, like talk for a couple minutes and pop it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll be getting a SIM card when I'm over there, and all of the hotels have Wi-Fi. And my SIM card actually gets, because data over there is dirt cheap. I think it was like $10 or $20 for like a month with unlimited data for a SIM card. So I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Like just to have like a check-in sort of episode, just for the hell of it. And we don't do stuff like that ever, so like why not? While you're out there, you should also try to find some like Vietnamese horror movies. That would be really cool to check out, even if they're not like subtitled or anything. It would be interesting to see what, like, how like we find these like underground movies at conventions and stuff. Like, what if you ran into stuff like that, but in from their culture? So maybe that might be worth looking into for a future episode.
Yeah, I would probably. I just noticed I fucked something up, but I can fix it right now. I would probably have to like have my wife like try to track that down because I don't even know how to begin like searching for that.
Yeah, I know, but hey, it might be something fun to do. Yeah, I don't really hear about Vietnamese horror, to be perfectly honest. You hear about other Asian cinema, but you don't necessarily hear about that country specifically.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a Vietnamese movie, let alone a Vietnamese horror movie.
Got you a little
Project.
Yeah, a little search.
But I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. I do remember going into a few stores that did sell movies, so it is a possibility. Now, obviously, all the movies were in Vietnamese, and I could care less about them. But that wasn't even something that I had thought about. So yeah, I could definitely do something like that.
Yeah, so stay tuned. That'd be really interesting. Just like I said, just the experience from a different perspective, different side of the world. So, I'm all about that. Since I'm not going, I test.
All right. So before we get started with tonight's episode, I also want to just give everyone a heads up that Friday I am doing a giveaway on my channel, personal giveaway. It's going live starting Friday. I don't know if it's like going live at like midnight on Friday or midnight on Saturday, but one of those days. And I'm going a different route yet again. I've tried all kinds of different ways to streamline a giveaway to give me the most attention and to generate the most traffic. And I'm going with Gleam.io this time to promote. And anyone who wants to enter is actually able to enter four times using 3 different methods. So you can follow me on Twitter. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my Mixer channel, and that will give you different amounts of entries. So hopefully, this brings some traffic and some new subscribers and viewers to my channels, which is the whole idea behind these giveaways. And also, a thank you to the people who have been there for a while. This is a US only giveaway this time. That's not always the case. I do worldwide giveaways, but this time it's just going to be a US only. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely plug it on our social as well as on the show next week. So if you didn't see it this week, I'm definitely be posting and talking about it incessantly next week. So.
And again, right before we start, today happens to be the anniversary of the tall man himself, Angus Scrims, the day he passed. So, we just want to pay our respects to one of the nicest guys in horror. Just there's not enough things you could say about Angus. He was just a fan pleaser and an absolute gem of a person.
It's been 3 years already, and it's kind of crazy to me. Like I feel like we were just talking about it not too long ago, and it's been quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, let's not dwell on it. It's sad, but his legacy will live on forever. So.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we got the movies and the opportunity to meet him. So it's very, very cool, and we got a lot of stuff to look back on from his work.
Pretty much, man. It's just good stuff all around. So continue resting in peace, buddy. All right, so how about we go ahead and jump into some horror news?
It's a horror fiction, still a screen addiction. Cinematic gore and murder, it's horror fiction, not a fact prediction. Movies cannot make you a killer, it's a horror fiction.
All right, so Tony Todd wants to be a part of the new Candyman film, and I think we all pretty much saw that coming. I mean, if that's a surprise to anybody, I don't know what to say. You haven't been paying attention. And you know what? He'll probably get some type of role, which is good. He deserves it. What do you think?
Well, like you said, it's pretty much been like a given that he would want to be involved in some way, and you know, certain sites were like framing it like he was kind of desperate to be a part of it. And Tony Todd, you know, he's not a stranger to work. If you go to his IMDb page, he has continuously worked since Candyman film. So, you know, it's not like he's knocking down their door for a job. It's more along the lines of that. You know, he holds the character and the franchise so close to him that he wants to be be continually involved in it. You know, he wants to kind of like imprint in on the new film, whether it's in a title role or just, you know, like character that just happened to be, you know, passing by on the street. He just seems very passionate about what they're trying to do, and you know, willing to take part no matter what. So, you know, it's really cool that he wants to stay involved in it, and he holds the character so high, you know, like as far as his body of work go. But I'm still not convinced that this is going to be a remake. I legitimately think they're going to go the Halloween route. We don't have any evidence of that, but you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that feeling too. Simply because we haven't gotten a whole lot of information yet, and I think it might stay that way for a little while. But it would not surprise me in the least if we find out that this is, you know, not a remake. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be some type of re-envisionment, and you know, obviously a continuation of the film from, or the original franchise from one of the films. Though I think I pretty much liked all of them. I don't think there was like really a bad one in the bunch.
I don't remember part 3 too much. Like, I remember the first two.
Was that Day of the Dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna revisit them again soon because they, you know, the first two were fun. They're really good movies, so I want to check them all out again. You know, all these years.
Yeah, I don't remember like not liking part 3. I think it might be the weakest of the 3, but I think it's still a pretty good movie. So yeah, so it's interesting trying to, you know, fathom what role Tony Todd could play. But if he ends up, you know, revisiting his role, I wouldn't be surprised in the least. And yeah, I think a part of me kind of wants that. It's fitting.
Yeah, for sure. And he hasn't really missed a step as far as his acting goes. You know, if you see him in other movies, like he's been in the Final Fantasy movie. Oops.
Final Destination.
Final Destination films. He's been in Hatchet. Recently, he's been in the Hellfest movie, which I've yet to see. But he really brings his A game no matter what role he plays. So to him, you know, for him to put the hook back on and that swaggy coat of his, you know, I think he's just gonna like return to it. But now, as a seasoned actor, I think he's gonna bring a lot more to the role than he might have to begin with. So that alone excites me.
Yeah, it's definitely something most horror fans are keeping their eyes on because they definitely want to know what's going on with this flick. But I think it's going to be a couple months, you know, probably especially after Us gets released, then we'll start getting trickles of Candyman news. But I don't think Jordan Peele wants to take anything away from all the hype surrounding Us right now, and that's rightfully so.
Yeah, I forgot to put that in the show, but that's going to be debuting at South by Southwest, which not too far away.
Yeah.
And then I believe the release is in March, so I think we're gonna have to go see that. Like, go see it, maybe do like an episode like immediately after. I think.
Yeah, I would be down. It's definitely looks like an interesting movie. definitely way more interesting than Glass looks. And you know, I've never been a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I've never been a big fan of, you know, any of his movies really. And I know a lot of people said Split was good and that other movie was pretty good, and everyone was all hyped for Glass, but it didn't look very good to me. And from what I'm hearing right now, it's not faring so well.
Yeah, the floodgates pretty much were open this afternoon when the embargo got lifted, and everybody is just pouring out their negative feelings on it. They're not too happy, to say the least. But as far as Jordan Peele goes, we ended up getting the trailer on Christmas Day, actually, and it surprised the hell out of me, because before that, I know I'm just kind of like shoving this in here, but before that, we didn't really know a hell of a lot of what Us was going to be, and I gotta say, the trailer was fucking intense. Like, I'm pretty excited for this movie.
Yeah, it definitely looks really good. So moving on to some more possible sequel talk. Cassandra Peterson, who you might better know her as Elvira, was teasing a possible sequel to Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Now, was she really teasing a sequel?
This wasn't necessarily a tease per se, but fans have been pretty much asking her for years, when are we going to get something related to that? Are you going to do a new movie? Are you going to do a sequel directly to that movie? And she did a Q&A on, I don't know the exact date, it was Friday Q&A, and I believe it was on Instagram. So people were sending in their questions and everything, and obviously one of them was, would you do a sequel to Mistress of the Dark? And her response was, I'm giving this some serious thought. A lot of people asked me this question, and I'm thinking maybe one more. We will see. So, follow-up question to that was, are you going to bring Elvira's next movie or movie macabre to Netflix? And she said she's working on that too. You know, so seeing that the balls like kind of the wheels going into motion, you know, of like her trying to put her movies and, you know, her series and stuff like that to Netflix, that's probably our best shot at seeing something like that. So I think this was more of something where she was just, you know, kind of answering a question that she always gets asked, but, you know, what better time than now with all these revivals?
Well, yeah. I don't know. Would it be cool? Yeah. I would like it. I just don't think her gimmick would really work in today's world. You know, I don't think it's gonna translate well. You know, Joe Bob. Joe Bob, I don't believe is a gimmick. You know, we've met the dude. That's kind of him. He's that's who he is. So he's not a gimmick trying to translate, you know, into a world 20 years from when he was popular. Elvira, I don't know. Well, you know what? Hang on. You know, I'm changing my opinion. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to change my opinion. And it makes sense.
I'm curious if it's what I was about to say, but go on.
Thirsty boys like cleavage. If Twitch thoughts have taught us anything, is that thirsty boys will throw money at virtual boobies.
All right.
She will do well.
Okay, so we've got the adolescents covered.
Adolescents?
Horror fans.
Bullshit.
You know
I seen some fucking well fucking heavy pocket thirsty boys, probably in their 30s and 40s, dropping down big old bucks to some Twitch thoughts. I've seen $100 and $1,000 donations. I don't think no adolescent little teenager dropping $1,000 on some virtual boobies.
All right, so males we've got covered.
Yes.
Better? You happy? Okay.
There you go.
The horror fans will obviously, they support anything from the past, so it's definitely something, you know, that will do well regardless. I'm gonna give two things, make 2 points really quick. One of which is she hasn't really gone away. She does conventions, which like that's a given for most stars of the past.
Or age.
But exactly. Oh my god. She looks exactly like she did in the 80s. But that being said, she has also been kind of having her own residency at Not Scary's farm in California. So she's kind of doing like 30 nights, 25 nights during the Halloween season every year. So she has a show and everything that she put on. And if you remember a few years ago that she brought back Elvira's movie Macabre. So she hasn't exactly, her character hasn't faded from the spotlight necessarily. The other point that I'll bring up is that Pee Wee Herman got a Netflix deal to do a movie. And while it was, it didn't break the entire world, it was still pretty well received, the movie itself. So I could realistically see something like this working on a Netflix level. And, the audience is there in one way or another.
Yeah, no, listen, this is the time for bringing back things of old, and with Netflix fucking making everything popular again, what better time? What better time?
Agreed. I'd love to see it. I'm a big fan of hers. I met her a couple of years ago, and she was a sweetheart, and just bring it on. That's what I said.
So next up on our list is news that broke a couple days ago of Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray joining the cast of Zombieland 2. Okay, how is Bill Murray back?
That's a good question. That's the thing that's really making me wonder. But I don't recall the movie too well. That particular scene. Did they actually shoot him in the head?
No, he got shot in the stomach.
Right. He died. Well, what if they bring him back and as an actual zombie? I think that would work.
Yeah, it could, but I mean, they wrapped him up and I think they threw him in a dumpster, so I don't know if a zombie would have gotten him.
Well, let's be realistic here. Well, I mean, if the zombie plague works like most zombie things, he dies and he comes back. So first off, this casting news isn't huge. It's not going to be. They're not going to be leads in this movie. They're going to be into a cameo sort of level. And I could picture them doing something amusing where Dan Aykroyd, real life Dan, he'll play himself in the movie and runs into a zombie Bill Murray. I mean, it would be pretty amusing.
No.
What would be even better is if Dan Aykroyd's still talking about making Ghostbusters 3.
That's where I was going with it. It would be funny if the group is driving past Bill Murray's house again for whatever reason, and they see Dan Aykroyd there, banging on Bill Murray's door with a Ghostbusters 3 script in his hand, and then Bill Murray just pops up out of the dumpster he got buried in and just ends Dan Aykroyd.
I pictured zombie Bill Murray walking down the street, and Dad goes, "Oh, I finished the latest draft." And he goes to hand it to him or something like that.
Yeah,
no, that would be very amusing. But I hate when this stuff leaks like this, because it kind of really pulls the rug out from underneath. Thankfully, when I saw Zombieland, I had no idea. I missed the news completely, and it leaked days before that Bill Murray was going to be in the movie. So
I didn't know either.
That cameo that threw me off so much, and it's still one of my favorite movie moments, in the last however many years.
Yeah, no, I remember being surprised too. I didn't know. I had no idea he was had a cameo.
And then seeing him and Woody Harrelson pretending to be Ghostbusters, that, as a longtime Ghostbuster fan, that just made me smile. It's making me giddy right now.
That scene and pairing was special for me because I'm a big fan of the movie Kingpin, and they were both leads in that movie, so it was fun.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it definitely is. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle bringing Bill Murray back around. But I'm sure they'll find some clever way, and it will be a great, albeit probably a very short cameo scene. But I think it'll be worth it.
Shit, at this point, they should bring back another person that doesn't age and get Ernie Hudson in there. He was in something I watched recently. He was in, I finished watching Twin Peaks not too long ago, and he was in Twin Peaks Revival.
Okay.
And he looks even younger in that. I don't know what's happening. He's like, we've always said he doesn't age, but it looks like he's de-aging now.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll check it out just for that. I was never into that show, so.
It's batshit crazy. If you're familiar with any David Lynch stuff, that's pretty much what you're gonna get. It's wild.
Yeah, that's kind of his MO. So next up we got Stranger Things coming back, and it will be back on July 4th.
That was an unexpected announcement. Like, I know they were teasing a little something beforehand, but like, I slack a lot on Twitter, so some of these things come out of the blue, and people have been like excited for days. Like New Year's Eve hits, and I'm just like, oh, some Stranger Things. Holy shit! They announced the date and gave us a little teaser, trailer, poster type.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, how long has it been? It's been 2 years since the last season?
I think something like that. I'm just excited that we're finally getting something. It felt like way too much time has went by. I think they may have filmed both seasons back to back. So
yeah, I know, you told me that.
I can understand it in that regard. But I'm digging this time change. You know, it doesn't have to always be October. This one could take place in the summer, and that's, you know, for this type of show, this coming age type of story, that's going to resonate with a lot of people. I think that's what resonates with a lot of people in general, because this type of story is showing how things were when we were younger and how it was when we were growing up. And even if it wasn't that to a T, we didn't fight off Demogorgons and all that good stuff. It was still childhood in general, you know, the concept of childhood. So it's going to be cool to see, you know, a nice summer in that town, you know. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, you know, I hate waiting for new shows. Now, I like building up the hype and excitement as long as it's only a year. You know, if they release a new season too soon, like, you know, 4, 5, 6 months after the one season ended, it's not enough time for me to really get excited. But a year is like perfect in my opinion. When it gets to like 2 years and I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for a show to come back, I get tired, and it's like my excitement is gone. Like I saw the announcement, the new poster, the little teaser, and it's like, okay, all right, I'll watch it, but like you're not. My excitement has passed. I like the idea of seeing the kids in summer. Most horror fans go batshit for fucking, the fall and Halloween setting. Like, all right, fuck. We don't need every goddamn horror movie and show to take place during Halloween, all right?
Agreed. And Stand By Me took place in the summer, if I recall, and that's what this show has a vibe of, They're very similar.
Yeah, kind of like a Stand By Me meets Sandlot meets Goonies, And
we already got a balls-to-the-wall Halloween experience with Stranger Things, so it's really cool to me that they're doing it, in the summer, which is basically every kid's fucking dream. You're not going to worry about explaining school and all this other nonsense. It's summer vacation. We're all going to be out on our bikes and doing this and that.
Yeah, and there's usually not a whole lot of good releases in the summer, so that's kind of cool. That helps break up the summer.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying about the wait. I think it's because we're so used to seasons being churned out one after another. But for me, I'm kind of kind of prefer that they take their time with the story. You know, if it's not ready, it's not ready. If it's going to take a little bit longer to film, a la Game of Thrones, yeah, no, like take the time that you need. You know, I'd much rather it be quality than just, oh well, here comes season 3. You know, the one that drops off. You know, because they didn't really know where to go, or they wrote themselves into a corner. I'd much rather see quality over quantity at this point.
Yeah, no, pretty much. You know, anybody can churn out fucking dog shit shows. But, I don't know. I think this season, it'll either be very similar in terms of how good it is to season 2. It might suffer a little bit. You know, Sean Astin was a really good addition in season 2, and obviously he won't be part of season 3. So, but I don't know. The show's gonna do well regardless, so it doesn't really matter what I think. And I'm gonna watch it, and I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm just not overly, you know, hyped for it yet. Maybe once it gets closer, you know, maybe come June, I'll get more excited for it.
Yeah, I'm more antsy. I want it now. Like the announcement was cool, and I'm like, all right, bring it on already. I don't want to wait till June or July.
Well, we'll see. All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into some comic and geek news here. All right, so Punisher season 2 is upon us. It is like a week out, and apparently we're getting a new trailer tomorrow. It's kind of weird when you think about it, a trailer for a show that's coming out in a week. But regardless, very, very much looking forward to this season. Season 1 was very, very good, very entertaining, and this is most likely going to be the final Marvel show we get to see on Netflix. So let's enjoy it.
That's what's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And granted, I still haven't watched Punisher and everything else, but the point is like it's leaving this bittersweet taste, because it's like, okay, you just axed every other one of your shows, and now you're hyping up the second season of a show that will probably be immediately followed by being axed. So, like, if I didn't love the properties so much, I'd be like, okay, well, fuck this, I'm not gonna watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't really care about going into season 2, because, you know, why get invested in something that's ultimately going to be gone? That being said, I'm a sucker for Marvel, so I'm most definitely going to eventually get to season 2, as well as complete all the other ones that I'm behind on.
Bad Mungus. It's a bad Mungus.
When I was sick, I watched fucking like 30-something hours of television, and I've got it in me. I just got to get to the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I remember binging Punisher just like I did with all the Marvel shows as soon as it dropped, and it wasn't my favorite, but it was probably right in the middle. I did really enjoy it. It was definitely a lot of fun, very gritty, dark, bloody, fucking good show. Just an all-around very good show. So I will definitely be binging this one before I get on my plane to Asia a couple days later.
Yeah, I gotta give you a show or two to watch while you're heading over there.
I'm going to see. I gotta see. As long as I can download all of season 1 of Sabrina, I'm gonna download and watch that on the plane.
Nice, good choice.
And I don't know. I'm gonna need a couple more shows, because Sabrina will probably only get me like halfway to Asia.
Yeah, I think there's the 11 episodes, so
yeah,
I'll think of something, because I'm always like jaw dropped at something that you haven't watched. Like, get off the phone right now. You have to go watch this.
Listen, let's not talk about things we have to watch, okay, Ray?
Okay, I'll shut up.
Yeah, let's not fucking open that can of worms. Or trolls, I should say. Okay, Ray?
I was gonna say that I've got Hellboy on my desktop right now, so I'm almost there, man.
Yeah, well, I can't make you click it now, can I?
That's very true, very true.
Adam McKay interested in directing Silver Surfer movie. Adam McKay, why does that name sound... Oh, you know what? I skipped one, but I'll come to that next. Why does that name sound familiar?
That dude did Anchorman, the Anchorman movies. He wrote the other guys. He did some work on the Ant-Man script. He's been all over Hollywood. Like he's done.
Yeah, no. No, he can be interested. I don't want him. I'm not saying I don't like his work, but Silver Surfer is a very tragic, very dramatic character. And it doesn't seem like this guy's got the kind of pedigree to write a character like him.
Well, he just wrote the script for that movie, that Dick Cheney movie, Vice. So,
yeah, and that's more of a comedy.
Is it? I thought it was more of a drama.
Ah, it's more of a comedy. Have you seen like
No, I've not seen anything on it. I thought this was like an Oscar grab type movie.
Oscar type? They actually like depict the scene where he like shoots his buddy that he's hunting with.
That's funny. I have not seen a single bit. Like, I've literally seen the poster and that's it.
Yeah, no, no, hopefully Marvel does not pick him. Again, nothing against him or his work. I just do not think that this character and all of his many facets is a fit for a writer of his type.
I'm not gonna box him like that for the simple fact that we've seen a Halloween movie that was directed by a guy mainly known for comedy and written by guys mainly known for comedy pull off a really fucking intense horror movie. You know, so if this guy grew up reading Silver Surfer in the same way that you're passionate about Silver Surfer, I'd much rather see it in the hands of a fan, you know, somebody that has an interest in it in the same way, you know, or somebody that's smart-minded, you know, visually oriented to be able to take on a character like that. I get what you're saying. You much rather go with somebody safe or somebody a little more proven, but if this guy's a fan in that way, I'd much rather see it in that sort of capacity.
Hey, listen, if he's a fan and he knows the character, then maybe get a writing partner to help you with some of the dialogue and some of the set pieces. You know, maybe he could write the overall story and let somebody else handle the other aspects of the script. That I would be on board with, you know, if he happens to be a fan and he happens to know the character and his legacy. And, you know, but again, as far as tragic characters in the Marvel Universe goes, Silver Surfer is one of the most tragic, in my opinion. And that really needs to be conveyed in a movie if we ever get one.
Well, I'm going to give you the quote really quick. Silver Surfer's the one that I want to do, man. I would do anything to do Silver Surfer because visually that would just be like you could do what the Wachowskis did with Speed Racer but with Silver Surfer. Yet at the same time, there's a great emotional story in there where the guy has to make the choice to save this planet. You know, Norrin Red has to save this planet that sorry. Yeah, no, he cuts off a little bit right there, but because he basically cuts himself off and says, but I think Fox owns the rights to that. So he seems to have an understanding of the emotional level that is required in a movie like that. The interesting thing about this is it got back to Kevin Feige, and there's like early conversations happening. Not to definitely direct or anything, but the interest is shown, the agents are talking to each other, and, you know, something might come of it. Who knows? Even if he writes it.
I don't know. Hopefully they got a couple other names in the hat that they're looking at, but we'll see. I mean, this is I don't think the deal has officially gone through yet. I don't think Marvel and Disney actually own Surfer and Fantastic Four yet. So I'm not gonna sit here and get a little chubby over any kind of Silver Surfer news.
I feel you on that. As far as the deal goes, I believe it's supposed to be closed by the end of the month. And what I read beforehand, before Christmas, Fox letterheads were right next, like Disney letterheads were on Fox memos. So, it's just about there.
Yeah, well, when it's there, then I'll start getting a chubby.
I hear you.
So Captain Marvel becomes one of the top-selling Marvel films on Fandango.
Yeah, it's like third behind Infinity War and Black Panther, but still impressive to see how well it's selling, for a film like this. And I don't want to sit there and say, oh, like a female superhero character, because it's not necessarily the case. It's the thing is that the excitement's there for something different, and people are lining up around the block, so to speak, and they're ready to check this movie out, which is awesome.
March 8th. That's Monster Mania, isn't it?
Good question.
I mean, I'll go Thursday night, so it's not going to affect me in the least.
You should come up here and go, yeah, no, that's March 8th, sir, for sure. That is, March 8th is Monster Mania, the start of Monster Mania.
Well, listen, if I end up doing that, if I come up there and I see it with you,
I know. I already know what you're going to say.
Okay, good.
I already have the day off, so we're good.
Okay, good. All right, because it just makes sense at that point. I mean, why the fuck am I going to go back up there the next day?
Exactly.
Okay, good. All right, so that's pretty cool. A lot of people are excited. I am very excited. I love this character. But right now, like the trailers and a lot of the TV spots, they haven't really pulled me in yet. Like I'm going to the movie opening night regardless, but I don't know. I guess I'm not seeing what I need to see. That's really putting me in that crazy place. And hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully they're saving all that for the movie. Who knows?
It seems like that's exactly what the case is. Like I've seen the first trailer, and then the second trailer they give you a little more of like that really crazy action sequence at the very end, which excited me. But if you compare both trailers, it seems like they're pulling from the same scenes. They're keeping it very very tightly webbed, or tightly knit. They're not showing too much of it, and I think that's a really good thing. I don't want to see the entire movie in the trailer. That's one of Hollywood's biggest mistakes when it comes to most marketing. But it seems like they're keeping all the scenes that they're showing us very confined to one specific part of the movie, and I'm not having the problem that you're having, where you're not getting the kind of groove that you need from it. But I'm in. We're in a world right now that has a Captain Marvel movie on the way, and as a kid, you would have never expected to see that. You would have never expected to see Black Panther be successful, or Guardians of the Galaxy be successful. Fuck, man, even Iron Man, you wouldn't even think would be a successful movie, but they're king in the film industry right now, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's the power of Marvel, man. That's all it is. They are a powerhouse, and but you know what? It wasn't on the show notes, but we got to give props to DC. Aquaman.
Yeah, that's right.
Aquaman hit a billion, right?
I believe so. We're living in a world where fucking Aquaman is doing.
I didn't see it. It never really looked overly interesting to me. No, it did not hit a billion yet. It's going to.
Almost.
It's almost there. Yeah, it's almost there. It's going to. Not yet, but definitely. Congratulations to DC. They've made from what it looks like, a decent movie. In terms of box office success, did very well.
I heard it was really good too. I was supposed to go this past weekend, but I got sick.
I've heard mixed reviews, and I don't know. Maybe I'll catch it when it's on TV at some point, but definitely that's very good for them. Not that they really have any proper fucking direction at the moment, aside from Shazam and Wonder Woman 2. No one knows what the fuck is going on with their other properties. They got.
That's the beautiful thing, though, because they've got Batman and Superman in turmoil right this second, and they're doing what they should have done to begin with, focusing on the individual characters and kind of building to something. From what I understand, this Aquaman portrayal is way different than in Justice League. So we're at a point where they're showing it, like giving Aquaman an actual identity as opposed to just lumping him up in this big fucking mess of a movie. So they did the same thing, obviously, with Wonder Woman, and now they're introducing another character fresh out the gate. So I think they're backpedaling to what they should have been, and now they're like rebuilding in that sense, the same way Marvel did.
Hey, listen, if it's working for them, hopefully they keep doing it. Obviously, as you said, Batman, Superman are fucking duking it out somewhere because no one knows what the fuck is going on with them. They got Shazam coming up, which looks like a goddamn fun movie. I hate the character, but goddamn, I might like legit go put money into that and see it. It looks like fun.
Right.
Wonder Woman 2, I could give two shits about it. I did not think the first movie was good at all. And then the only other movie that I know of, well, the Joker movie, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, I'm loving every fucking second of what I've seen so far, which are just pictures. So, give me that fucking trailer. I want that trailer. And then the only other thing I can think of is fucking the Gotham City Sirens and the crazy emancipation or the wonderful emancipation of one Harley. I don't know. Fucking dumb.
Weirdest title ever.
Dumb fucking title. It sounds like a rejected title for a Rob Zombie album, alright?
I agree.
Whatever. I have no problem with a movie focusing on female comic book characters. That's great and all. Fucking name your movie something normal. Right?
It reminds me of the title, I don't remember the full title, but Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, or
Doctor Strangelove, it has a big subtitle.
Yeah, no, it's Doctor Strangelove or How I Love to Learn the Bomb.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's different. That was a fucking a satire gimmicky movie. So having a title like that is, you expect that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Whatever.
And man, it strays off from the path. It's got you talking. It's got me talking. It's got a bunch of people talking. Whether they're saying it's fucking stupid sounding or whatever, it's word of mouth. It's already free marketing. So I think it's smart. Personally, I like the direction where DC is going. They're focusing on the characters, and that's what their problem was all along. The fact that they just wanted to cut corners and get to the finish line just was never going to work for them. And I think they finally started understanding that.
Yeah, we'll see on the next movies. Don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate the stupidity that is WB and DC. They'll hit a home run and then feel like they're all big dick swinging and go and release a fucking stinker.
I'm just saying, I've got a feeling this Joker movie is going to take. I forget who's doing the Matthew something, the guy that's doing the new Batman movie. I have a feeling that this Joker movie is going to basically throw that off course because it's going to be successful, and they're going to have to go back to the drawing table and be like, "Hey, we have to kind of cash in on how great this Joker movie is." I'm hearing rumors that Joaquin absolutely killed the performance. He did very well, and it's really an emotional movie too. There's also rumors going that a lot of the stuff that we've seen from set videos and photos was purposely filmed for the audience, for the paparazzi. So we might be being they may be holding a carrot that doesn't necessarily exist, kind of trick us a little bit.
Well, all I know is that from what I've seen on social media, that movie has fans split. They either are really excited for it, or they're fucking want nothing to do with it. I'm personally obviously not a big DC fan at all, but from what I've seen, I was like, I want that movie and I want it now. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some news on that soon. I mean, since the movie wrapped, we haven't heard anything.
No, just little rumors. That's about it. But I know. Do you remember that little video of the makeup test they posted with that song? Like, if it's that tone of movie, I am in. I am just in. That little 30-second video they posted just did so much for me. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get some more soon. All right. What do we got here? All right, so we got our main discussion tonight. Why don't you tell us what we're going to be discussing here? I'm going to go just grab a beer real quick. Just give me like 15 seconds, because I need one for this thing. I need one. Oh, boy. I'll be right back.
So, yeah, the main discussion tonight, we're going to be talking about the polarized Netflix film Bird Box. It's got fans and audience members and just people in general completely split. People love it, people hate it, and I personally haven't seen it yet, so this is mostly going to be a Bates segment. But with that being said, there's such a interesting split amongst the community, and people are like arguing this film like vehemently, like whether it was good, whether it was bad. There's just like this war going on between everybody, and I don't know. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Okay. So I'm currently writing a review for this movie for Dead Entertainment. And I got excited about it at first, and then I started writing it, and I got like a paragraph or two in it, and I'm like, I'm not excited about this anymore. Because as I'm sitting here writing about it, I'm realizing that what I felt while I was watching it wasn't necessarily a accurate representation of how I felt about the movie, because as I started writing about it, like, my opinions really started to change. So as I was watching it, I overly, like, for the most part, I enjoyed it. But then I started kind of thinking about aspects of it. The fact that, let's be honest, let's be fucking honest here, this was a zombie movie with no fucking zombies in it, alright? This was a cliche fucking every zombie trope in the book non-zombie movie, to the point where we have zombie movie trope characters. The one guy, I think his name was Douglas, I think it was John Malkovich playing him. Yeah, that's every asshole in every zombie movie. That's fucking Cooper, alright? From Night of the Living Dead. It's the Modern Family dude from the Dawn of the Dead remake. That asshole is in every zombie movie. Funny part is, he usually ends up being the one who's right about something and dies. And guess what? He was right about something and he died because of it. There's nobody listened to him. That's how it always happens with these guys. So shit like that was bothering me. They raided a supermarket. Yeah, because we haven't seen that done a million times in fucking every zombie movie. Let me ask you real quick.
They didn't show anything, if I read correctly.
What? You mean the creatures?
Right.
You mean the fucking spirits from the Ark of the Covenant because some asshole opened it up and forgot to put the lid back on? That's all whatever these things were. They were the spirits from the Ark of the Covenant, because when you looked at them, you pretty much died. Now, they decided to spice things up a little bit and then make you die instantly. Nah, they wanted to, make it a little bit more gruesome. That's all this fucking was, alright? Now, my biggest problem with this fucking film, I'm starting to get heated here.
We should have called this Pressure Rising.
Yeah, Review Rising. My biggest problem with this movie, and I like the idea of You know, you can't look at these things, whatever they are. They make you crazy. You kill yourself. Okay. All right. Now, obviously, they tried tying up one of the characters to prevent him from trying to kill himself. Well, that didn't work. I think they did a really bad job of, securing himself. But my biggest problem with this film was, now these things seemed spiritual or almost wraith-like, poltergeist-y. Is that a word? Poltergeisty? I'm making that a word. Poltergeisty.
I like it.
These were a spirit type creature. Yet they could not enter a home. What are they, fucking vampires? They can't come in unless you invite them? What is this?
It sounds to me like they're trying to create a monster by taking different tropes from other monsters, a pre-existing monster.
And obviously, these were completely ethereal creatures because it doesn't. They didn't touch anybody. Because I mean, if people were walking around with fucking blindfolds on, it's like, oh yeah, they beat us. Yeah, no, I don't think so. You would think these things would just go over and just take the blindfolds off, and then. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seemed they were ethereal, and they couldn't actually contact anyone. Well, unless I'm wrong, because when they were all in the car going to the supermarket, something was shaking the car, unless it was crazy people. But that they weren't really a thing yet at that point in the movie. Right? What was shaking the car when they were all going to the supermarket, like sort of in the middle of the movie?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
God, I hate you.
I was watching television shows, man.
So, listen, alright, I like the idea behind the creatures. I don't like how they were handled. Again, why am I not? It's like, okay, so they hang out outside, but they can't fucking go into a house. I don't get that. Nobody ever explains it. Not that I guess I would expect them to. But the acting, I like the acting. The setting was generic, zombie setting.
Post-apocalyptic, right?
Well, it doesn't start that way.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because all the promotional stuff that I've seen for it, it looks very like you're thrown right into the middle of it.
Yeah, the movie, when you watch it, you'll get it. But it shows you how it all begins, basically.
Okay, cool.
So the best element of the movie is Sandra Bullock's character's internal struggle with what she deems important in her life and how she handles certain things. And as the best element, and best, I don't even know if it would technically be social commentary, but it's a great look at a very cold, loner type of person who doesn't find attachment or love in almost anything in her life. And yeah, I don't even know how else to explain it. It's definitely the best element of the movie. The blood and the gore, there's very little. There's a couple of cool scenes, but nothing overly offensive, you know? And then the supporting characters, again, all trope characters. You know, stupid kids. Manly black man. Mean asshole old white man.
Are you describing Night of the Living Dead?
Fucking yeah! I fucking told you. It's exact, dude. It's almost exactly that cast. They They even have like they have a chubbier pregnant white girl who's just pretty stupid. They have the two characters that go off and fuck and then end up bailing and leaving everybody to die. It seriously hits every goddamn zombie trope.
So this movie kind of like dropped out of nowhere. Like one day nothing was happening. The next day everybody's making memes about the blindfolds and everything like this. It just like it took the world by storm. Like, why? Like, how did this happen? Like, the Nielsen ratings have basically confirmed that in its first week, 30 million people watched it in the U.S. and 45 million watched it worldwide. Like, do we just really want zombie movies? Do we want something different at this point? Like, what was it about this movie that made everybody just go fucking nuts about it? Because by what you're saying, they could have just rented a copy of Night of the Living Dead or pretty much any zombie movie at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get into a little bit deeper in some of my thoughts I have about this movie on my review. And I'll give my official rating when I write the review. I'm not going to give that tonight. But I will tell you this. Despite the name of the movie, there are no birds that box each other. I found that very upsetting. Misleading title. There's no boxing birds. But on the opposite end, there are birds in boxes. I like it when a movie title is, true.
Do they do that awkward thing where they mention the title of the movie in the movie?
No. But they do make it known that there are birds in boxes in like the first 5 minutes of the movie. You do see birds go in a box.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, I got my money's worth.
But yeah, there's a lot of things about this movie that doesn't make sense.
So what changed your opinion? That's what I'm like probably most curious about. Like you had an opinion while watching the movie, and then when you kind of letting it sink in that kind of got you to switch it around?
No, when I sit down and I write about a movie, when I'm writing a review about a movie, especially one that I just watched, I'll get a flood of opinions and a flood of thoughts that weren't going through my head while I was watching it. And this is what always happens. If I liked the movie, sometimes I'll like it even more as I'm writing about it. If I didn't like the movie, sometimes as I'm writing about it, I'm writing things and I'm like, oh, you know what, this is actually pretty good. And this just happens to be a sort of a rare case where I thought I liked it, but then I'm writing about it and I realized that I really didn't like it. Now, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying as a lifelong, hardcore, fucking seasoned vet in the horror genre, this was a zombie movie that had no zombies. And in a oversaturated zombie world that we live in right now, you would think that's a good thing? Yeah, no. No, it really wasn't. It even had a scene where, one character, sacrifices himself and he tackles someone behind a door and the door gets slammed and, you hear that wet visceral noise. It's like a throat gets slashed and then a pool of blood scurries underneath the door. It's like, oh, yeah, I seen that in no zombie movies ever. They never do that.
I've seen that in PG-13 zombie movies.
So it's like they tried to make something interesting, and honestly, I think they had a zombie script, and they gave it to Netflix, and Netflix is like, fuck you. We're done with zombies right now, all right? We killed it with Cargo. Fuck you. Bring me something original. And then the writers were like, what if they weren't zombies? And Netflix like, yes! I like it! What's it gonna be? And they're like, invisible things that if you look at them, you commit suicide? And like, alright, we're doing it, we're making it. Like, I'm legit, I'm pretty much convinced that this movie was a zombie movie and they just replaced the zombies. Except for the ending. I mean, the ending is the only part I felt was actually also really stupid. I won't spoil the ending because you haven't seen it. I've already spoiled enough of the movie. I thought you had seen it.
All good.
But I won't.
I'm definitely gonna be watching it within the next few days. So I know I've said that before, but that's something I wanted to.
All right. Well, we're gonna be talking about how you haven't seen it a year from now. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so while I was watching it, I didn't think I hated it. I don't hate it, but after watching it and writing a little bit about it, I'm really not a fan. Yeah, I just wasn't. And again, that's just how it happens with me sometimes, especially after I watch a movie and I immediately start writing a review. There's a movie I reviewed pretty recently for the site, and I didn't think I liked it that much while I was watching it, but then as I was sitting there writing about it, I was writing all these really good things about the movie. I was like, oh, no, this is better than I thought it was. And then I ended up like giving it like 2 more stars than I thought I was going to give it. I can't remember what movie it was, though.
You reviewed it?
Yeah.
It wasn't Cargo, right?
No, I love that movie from the minute I was watching it.
Now I'm interested. I'm looking it up. I'm seeing if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the stuff I've written. I can't remember what movie it was. Oh, it was Terrifier.
Right.
It was Terrifier. I remember I was watching Terrifier, and I'm watching it. And I'm like, all right, this is an okay movie. You know, it wasn't blowing me away. There were some great scenes in it, and the slasher character was very unique and fun, and I loved that. And I remember getting to the ending of the movie, and I kind of wasn't feeling the ending. And then as I'm sitting there, I'm writing about it, and I'm like, all right, you know what? This movie was a lot better than I thought it was. And what did I give that movie? I thought I was going to give it a 5, and I might have given it a 7. That's exactly what I did. Yep, I was going to give it a 5, and then as I was writing the review, I ended up raising it to a 7.
Nice.
So sometimes you have to put down your thoughts on paper, and it really kind of like opens up how you're really feeling about the movie or anything you're reviewing.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let it bake and kind of like give it a little more thought than you really were giving it while you're watching it. It happens to me a lot. I'll sit there and watch something. While you were talking about the change of opinion sort of deal was, I was a huge fan of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake when that came out. And then I saw it on home video. I picked it up on DVD. And just sitting down watching it again, I started to realize how much I hated just about every single character. And I don't know if it was just the excitement of seeing a zombie movie and one that was kind of intense or what in the movies, but I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, I really don't give a fuck if any of these people die at all. And like, there's no new messages being told here. So like, what did I really get out of this when I saw it for the first time?
Wait, so you don't like that movie either?
I don't. There's a lot of elements in it I like, but every time I watch it, which is like once every 5 years or something like that, I find new things that I dislike about it. So it's just really weird. I enjoyed it at one point, but it just slowly got worse.
Huh. Because, you know, I always take a lot of shit when I tell people that I fucking hate that movie. Like, oh my god, how do you hate that movie? It's such a good movie. I'm like, what makes it a good movie? I'm like, have you watched that movie and realized how unlikable every fucking character in that movie is? You want to know who the most likable character is? And what does he have? Like 3 lines of dialogue? Andy, the gun shop owner. He's the most likable character in that movie. Why? Because you barely see him. Every other character you see all fucking movie and they're unbearable. Every fucking one of them. The main guy, he's just a whiny cunt. The main chick, she thinks she's a tough girl, but she's really not. She's a whiny cunt too. Ving Rhames, he's a tough cunt. And an unlikable one at that. I don't know how you have a movie with Ving Rhames and you make him unlikable. Because he's fucking likable in everything. No.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, you can't make that guy unlikable. He's fucking fantastic, but they did it.
The guy from Modern Family who plays Phil, I forget what his name is in real life, his real name and what his character's name was in the movie. You know, he's supposed to be unlikable, but he's like, I don't know. Maybe he is more likable. Like, the supposed most unlikable character might actually be one of the more likable characters.
Probably. I mean, he kind of leans into the fact that he's a dick. He's like, this is me. I wear it on my sleeve.
But that might just...
he's more honest.
That might just be because I like Modern Family, and I'm seeing him, and I'm like, I can't picture Phil being an asshole. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that maybe I actually like that character now. Because I like that actor in a show that I like. You know, I don't know. It's a bad movie. It's not a good movie. You know, some of the effects are good. Obviously, the running zombies are always scarier. But I think it's also, I don't know.
I think that's what was really good about it to me. I've been watching slow-moving zombies for so long, and it's like, okay, these ones fucking... they sprint at you. It doesn't make sense, but neither does corpses walking around. So, hey, why not? Let's fucking embrace this more intense version of zombies. I'm cool with that. But when you give us a cast of just, you know, and they're good actors. There's some really good talent in there. But they just wrote leave it to Zack Snyder to write every character like a complete prick. You know, go figure.
I thought James Gunn wrote that script.
Oh, did he? Really? Okay, I forgot about that.
Right?
Weird. We gotta take that up with James Gunn one of these days. If we ever get a chance to meet him, like, what gives? Why is everybody fucking an asshole in this? But then again, James Gunn was coming right out of Trauma, so he's probably very much used to writing asshole type characters.
Yeah, no, it was James Gunn. So
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, no. But okay, maybe it was Zack Snyder
direction. Yeah.
misinterpreting James Gunn's script.
You know, if I ever come across James Gunn, I'm gonna ask him. I'm like, listen, hey, you're a good writer, and I like all your movies, but be honest with me. Did Zack Snyder fuck up your version of Dawn of the Dead? You can be honest with me, all right?
That's fascinating. I'm like really curious now. I want to see if I can track down a script of the remake of Dawn just to see if it could have been misinterpreted. Because I mean, Zack Snyder has a track record of making characters unlikable. So
yeah, that's kind of his MO.
So yeah, that's our Bird Box review, everybody.
Yeah, at the end of it, I thinking about it, starting to write my written review for the website. I didn't like the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not the worst movie I ever saw. All right, it's not as bad as it's not bad. All right, it just wasn't for me. I'm
thinking it might be like for mainstream audiences. Like by the way you're describing it, it's like it's definitely not for somebody who's been through fucking decades of horror movies and zombie movies and stuff like that. It seems like it's more for somebody who's just casually, oh, this is a cool, scary sounding movie. You know, that's just my vibe from what you were saying, at least.
Yeah, pretty much. It's, you know, mainstream is gonna like it because it's not zombies. I don't like it because it's not zombies, but it is zombies. Listen, man, you'll know exactly what I mean when you fucking watch it. You will realize that all Bird Box is a zombie movie and they just replaced the zombies.
I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. I'll follow up when I do 3 years from now. Episode 454.
But yeah, all right. So guys, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Wrapping up right around on time.
Little late start, but I was getting out of my nap. But we did good.
Yeah, no, not too bad, not too bad. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. Make sure if you have not subscribed, you definitely subscribe. Share us out. You know, help the channel grow. Help the podcast grow. And
with that little bell. That bell is very useful.
You know, we got lots of exciting stuff coming for you down the line. You know, new episodes of Metal Beer Horror. You know, and a couple other things we're working on. So, you know, and this every week. This is fun. Hey, this is fun.
That's what I tell myself every time I wake up, but it turns out to be fun once we do it. So
yeah, so definitely subscribe and make sure you check out deadentertainment.com. All your horror needs there, where we put in effort, unlike some other. I'll leave it at that. You can go. You can go and read our. You can go and read our articles and see that we put effort into our work, and you can go read articles about the same thing elsewhere. There's no effort. Just half-assing it.
If you like paragraphs, we got paragraphs. I'm just saying.
And if you like sentences, and I mean like one or two, I can tell you where to go.
But if you like words, you don't need a dictionary, my friend. We got words.
All right, it's the second time I spilled my beer tonight.
All right, we're done.
So guys, make sure you check out my channel, Live Deliciously in Game. Remember, I have my giveaway going live on Friday. It's going to last about a month. It's going to end right after I come home from Vietnam. Also keep that in mind that from the 23rd to the 8th, there will be no Way of Life Lives. No live ones anyway. We might try to record some things and post them on Wednesday night for you guys. But I promise nothing.
I've got a couple ideas. We could be doing something a little bit fun. As long as everything works out, we should have some sort of content for those 2 or 3 weeks that we're not going to be live. So definitely keep an eye out on the channel, hit the bell, subscribe, all that good shit, and all that good stuff.
Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Bates_MotelMT and at Ray Mungus. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/deadentertainment. And yeah, I think that's about it. You got anything?
No, I'm good. See you guys next week.
All right, guys. Thank you one more time. And remember,
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.